everything now. You also entered by yourself and you got notification for Bhaskar and other.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have option for recording.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine, fine. Then you got
So,
all
sir,
the.
we all recorded from our side, or someone only recording?
No, 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 no. When your meeting will start, you need to start this recording. Okay. So you can.
Okay. After that, they should upload on YouTube.
So you now you will able to get on here also. Okay, in this chat, I will let you know. Okay, after this meeting, I will let you know.
Okay.
And Deepak, meanwhile, now we can give them some other good resources also for learning. Since here we are covering like 1 hour, 2 hour, but full day they are like available. So we
Okay.
can give them some more places from where they can learn, like YouTube or some Udemy video like that.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want me basically let them work on some kind of assignments and all?
Yeah, that will also work. Yeah, and
So,
I also got one assignment from one of my friend. So I
mm-hmm.
think that you already completed yesterday only. Yeah, that was really very fast. Okay, so similar kind of assignment I will keep searching from my end also. Okay, and if
Mm-hmm.
you have anything what they can start doing, like Subham and Shivani can start doing, or Bhaskar can start doing. So you can give that kind of assignment, so they will be involved full day.
Okay. First of all, I think we can share that as assignment with them. So let's see like how would they, work upon that.
Yeah, that
Because
also we can do.
yeah, maybe we can share that after this session.
Okay, okay, fine then. Deepak, you can start.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen and we can continue for the session for today. And Ravi, I could you also provide me the recording for the sessions to me as well? You there?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you
So
also provide those recording sessions with me?
yeah. I have
Okay.
actually, I uploaded on YouTube. Actually, I have one channel, and from there
Mhm.
only I'm giving access to everyone. Yeah, I will share that link in our group also. So everyone can. Bhaskar, you got that link, correct?
Uh, no, Ravi, I didn't get.
You don't have link? Okay, okay. Yeah, I will give better. I will share in group only, so everyone. I think I shared in. Okay, I shared in employee group. Okay, fine. So Shivani and Subham, you have that access, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay,
Sir, I
fine.
am Saubhagya,
Ravi,
not Shivam.
Okay,
Ravi, which link you are telling about?
okay. Let me share. Actually, I have one YouTube channel also. So mm, yeah, what I did now, like okay, maybe I can give you direct access, so you will also able to see in channel in this chat only. Let me playlist. Yeah, this one. Actually, I will make it like this one. Actually, I will make this public, sorry, private, but I need some email ID and all. So I uploaded this 3 video.
Yes. This I got this link, but yesterday class I didn't get
Okay,
this.
yeah, today
Ravi.
I have uploaded. Today I haven't uploaded. Okay, so here, what, mm, 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 Deepak, here we have like all the training, whatever we are giving to our employee now. So
Mm-hmm.
we used to store in this YouTube only. This YouTube is owned by one of like two colleagues of our company only. Okay,
Okay.
and whatever like video we want to share with our students and all, we used to make it private and we used to share with them. So far, I haven't made it private, but I will make it private.
Okay.
I will share this link. I will share. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, fine then. So yeah, you can start.
Okay, fine, we'll start. So I'm sharing my screen. Just let me know if you guys are able to see it. Do you want to show anything else, Ravi? Or can I start sharing?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So yesterday we basically completed whatever we have in Power Query Editor. So let me brief you what is Power Query Editor before we start with the next phase, right, of data modeling stuff. So Power Query Editor, as I told you, it's a Microsoft ETL platform which is available with Power BI Desktop. So where you can perform transformations such as replacing values, changing data types, merge queries, append queries, pivot, unpivoting, creating conditional columns, custom columns over there, right? Every whatever step you will take over there in Power Query Editor, that will be recorded as a step over there in the form of M code. So if you have better understanding of M code, you can simply write M code over there and perform very complex transformation over there, or else you can also make use of the Power Query Editor UI to do those transformation. There are several areas through which you can perform a single step. Like if you want to replace values, you can either do it just click selecting the column, and if you right click over there, you'll get the replace values option as well. Or if you want to go with the ribbon, you can simply you can simply replace values in one of the tabs in the ribbon, in the upside ribbon. Okay, so once you think that yes, this data is in the usable format, now you can create your Power BI report, right, out of this, right? You can also rename columns, like various things you can do over there. And the first and foremost thing, if you have to have create a calendar table, either you can do it in the Power Query Editor, right? You can simply paste the code over there, or maybe you can create it with the custom function where you will define the start date and the end date, and then you get a one columnar table over there, and then you can add multiple columns to it with some functions which are available in the Power BI. Let me show you, like, which I'm telling you. Just give me a moment. Let me open Power BI report, and then we'll move on to the data modeling part. Yeah. Do you have a meanwhile, like, we can discuss, if there is some doubt which you have in mind, you can discuss the same. I'll try to solve it.
No, sir.
Okay, and there is a concept of parameters over there as well, right, which I told you twice. So why do we need a parameter? Why should we create a parameter if our data size is quite large, right, and we want to restrict our data set to be imported in Power BI Desktop as a Power BI data set? Then we have to pass parameters over there, and once we pass the parameter in Power Query Editor itself, we have the capability to change the parameter from the Power BI Desktop from here, right, if we have given some kind of parameter. So in this particular report, I don't think that I have passed parameter. Yeah, I have passed it. You can see a list of different regions data we available with us. So if I check, currently it is set as Northern Europe, I can select Central Asia, and what it will do, it will basically import the data for the new region only, right? I click on apply changes, it will do in that.
Sir, show it again.
Yeah.
Show it again. I mean, how we are changed the reason.
Again, you want to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just
Only
a second.
option.
Let it load.
Okay.
Let it load first, then I'll show you again. Okay, you just have to click over here in the transform data drop down. You will see added parameter. If you click added parameter, you will see the list of, because you pass parameter on this particular column, right? Select region. Wherever there is a, this is the parameter which you created based upon a field in your table, which is the region one, and then you put, you know, you filtered your data based upon this parameter. Wherever we have region, we filtered that particular column on the basis of whatever parameter will choose. So that is dynamic now, right? I just simply need to do the change of the parameter from my desktop only, and it will change everything. And in Power BI service also, that is dynamic. You can change in there is one tab in, you know, settings of your data set. There you can make changes of the parameter, right? So what I was talking about is these. If you select add columns, these are some of the columns, right? If you, once you do create the start date and end date, it will create one columnar table of the date, and then you can perform the different kind of, you know, steps over here. It will create a separate column. Like if you want to one second, it is not working, got stuck. Let me minimize this. So if you, okay, why it is grayed out? Because we don't have you know, the date column. Let me show you. Like once we have that ship date, right? If I select ship date, so once you create a one columnar date table, right, it will be, you know, open. And if you want to extract year out of the date, you can do it, right? And there are several functions over here which is which will help you to extract different information from the date, like what's the year, what's the first of month, and all. Everything you can do it from here and create your own date calendar table, right? You can also do it here, or you can do it from your Power BI desktop with the help of DAX logics, right? DAX measures, not measures, because you have to have a table completely. So you have to create a DAX calculated column. Okay, let me click on close because I don't want to carry the year from here. I'll do discard changes because I don't want my whatever I changed over there. I don't want to flow in into my data set, right? So that is the reason I clicked on discard changes, right? So okay, fine. So now we are in the Power BI desktop. What we have, this one is our report view, where if I select this, I can, you know, drag and drop anything. Let's suppose I want to see what's my category, right? I simply need to drag it over here. It will auto select the chart, if you can see. And let's suppose I want to have the profit information, right? So you can see that everything is in negative. Furniture negative, office supplies. Ideally that our profit should not be negative. It means that it's a loss, right? Let me see any other thing. Let me see the sales,
The sales.
category wise sales. Yeah, so if you can see, you know, you guys have some, you know, you are not able to get what is group by sales, right? So we can see that we have data in very much lower granularity, right? At order ID level, right? But what is group by? If I want to see a category, category by sales, so that is called group by, right? We can also, so it's in the filter context, right? Whatever, so how it is doing that category is able to filter my sales is because both of the, you know, columns are in the same table, right? If let's suppose I am pulling something from my people table, right? I want to see how let me see what all details we have over here. I think this is the salesperson detail, right? Do we have just one person? Okay, let me see over here, because we have passed the parameters over there, right? So that is the reason we are not able to have good data to work upon. Let me clear the parameter. So if I clear the last step, I get details for all the people, right? Let me see what's there. Is I have passed the parameter. You can see the definition of the step over here. So I'll remove this as well. Let me go to the returns table now, because I don't want to pass the parameter, because I don't have much data to work upon, right? Fine. Simply now I can also remove this. I'll let it there. So if I want to have my parameter again, I'll do it. Let me apply changes now. Right. And now let me try to pull person. So I can see that it is able to filter my sales data, right? Why it is able to filter my sales data is because of the correct modeling which I have done over here. So Power BI, what Power BI generally do, it will auto create the relationship between the tables. If you can see over here, once I load the data, let it open. Okay, fine. It automatically connects these tables, which is my it got stuck. Just wait for a moment. So if you can see, fine. So how it is doing, let me now move on to the slide first, then I'll brief you about each and everything, right? Okay, relationships in Power BI. What do you understand by relationship? So it's like relationship between multiple tables are necessary in order to accurate calculate result and display the correct information in our report. We have to set the cardinality and cross filter direction in the relationship view so that the filters can be flown in the correct direction. So if you are creating any particular report, 70% of your work is done if you have done correct modeling, right? If you have done the ETL performance ETL steps correctly in Power Query Editor, and then you did modeling, you connected your tables in a in correct way, then 70% of your work, or maybe you can count it as 80% of your work of your Power BI report has already been done, right? So then, because if let me show you how, just a second. So how many types of relationship we have in Power BI? This is one is active relationship, another one is inactive relationship. Okay, so if you are seeing a solid line over here, right, that is called active relationship. The solid line, if you can see, let me maximize this. Okay, this is the black solid line, right? And first of all, as I told you, what should be our first step is to create a calendar table. How can we do that in DAX? Let me show you. I'll go over here. click wrong icon. I'll first have to go over here. I need to go to modeling. I have to create a new table, right? Because you can see we have order date column over here, we have ship date column over here, right? So we need to perform different time intelligence function or maybe the date related calculation. Then for that we should create a calendar table. This is the first step, right? If there are dates available and you have to do reporting on the dates, right? Like you have to show the trend of any particular KPI over time and period, then you have to create a calendar table because that is indeed needed. How can we do that? We'll have to first give the, so what we are doing currently, we are creating a table. If you can see, you can confirm it from here that name equal to table, right? And you are in the table tools. So if you are creating a measure, you will get measure tools over here. Or if you are creating a calculated column, right, you will get column tools or column details, something like that over here. So we are creating a table, calculated table, right? So that is the reason we are getting this over here. So let me give the name to my table as calendar. Okay, there are two functions. If I write calendar, I'm getting calendar and calendar auto, right? So what's the difference between these two? If I hover over there, will I get anything? Read more, control plus space. Okay, so let me select calendar first. Okay, so what it is asking me, start date and end date, right? It wants a start date, so I have to either make use of, I can hard code the dates over here, right? Something like I can make use of another function, date function. What it will do, I have to give the hard coded date, or maybe if I have any date column, I can make use of that, right? For the first thing, I need to give it start date, and that start date I can take from order date, right? Okay, are you
Yes,
getting
sir.
my point? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so I, what we can do several things over here. Let's suppose I want to keep it hard coded, right? I can simply mention as 2021 1. Okay, I close it. What it will do, it will start the calendar from this particular date. Okay, and what's the next is end date. Now I have to give the end date as well, right? I again put this date because it will create a date. If I want it for till 2022 month, I can give 12 and date I can give 31, right? So it will create a one columnar table for my calendar. Let me show you now. You can see that date started from 112020 and it will be there till there would be more values. Let me show you. Let me do it. 31st 12 2022. So this is what we hard coded over here. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
There is another way. Let me show you.
Yes.
What if I want to create this calendar table based upon the date which I'm having there in order date, right? So how can I go with that? So first of all, what I need to do, if you can see, if I remove this, if I have this, I have to give year. So I can also do it from here. Let's suppose I can go over here. I can give another logic. Okay, or don't need to do this. I have to give the date, right? I can give max over here and search what is the maximum date in my order date column. Can you see the order date? Yeah. So what it will do, it will search not the maximum, sorry, we have to give minimum. So our start date, because let's suppose our order date starts from January 2021, right? So it should search for the minimum date, right? Let's see. Now I have to give the order date, sorry, end date. Then in that case I can search for the max date, but this time what I'll do, I'll go to the ship date column, because I want to cover each and everything, what each and every date which we have there in the our orders table. Because it might be possible that we ordered a product today, but it can be shipped, it will be shipped after 2 days or maybe 10 days later, right? So in order to perform our calculation correctly, we need those set of dates as well, which is from the on the basis of ship date as well. So if I do this, see what happened. We are getting from 1/1/2012, right? And what is our, we have the data till 7/1/2016. Okay, so if you can see, this is the month information. This is in the format of, you can see from here what's the date format, right? Journal date, short date. So these are different formats which you can see from here, and if you want to change the format, you can do it. So how you can do it? Either you can do it from here, you can give your formats over here, or else the best approach to change the format, if I particularly talk about date, right, I should go over here, go to the properties section. Let me select, I have selected the table, right? Let me do it from here. First you need to select the table, then you have to select the column, and then you can, you know, give the format over here, your custom format. Let me first convert it to date. I don't want date time because I don't have such kind of analysis. Right, I can select custom from here, because what I want my dates in the form of First I want month, then I want date, and then I want year information. Now you can see what we are getting, March, and then date, and then this, right? So the thing is that over here, now you are getting the month first, then the date, right? But in order to do our, you know, analysis, what should we do actually? We don't want our calendar to end at one, this is basically your month, right? First 7th of January 2016 we want, because we want that calendar to end at the end of the year, whatever end we are getting. So if we have data for 2016 January, right, we should be continuing this calendar till 12th of 31st 2016. Okay, December 31st 2016 we want to continue this calendar. And let's suppose we have the data from here, first of first, like 1st January, right? Let's suppose if we have the data from 1st of February, but still we need that January for the year, right? How can we do that? Because we want the calendar to be for the complete year. So what we can do, from this particular thing we are getting a date, right? And this particular thing we are getting a date. Okay, so what we can do, we can make use of our date function over here, and we will extract our year from this, Okay, what we are doing over here, we are extracting our year from this particular date, and for other thing, what we will do, we will give the month as 12 and the date as 31st. Not no, this is our start date, so we need to keep it 1/1. Okay, and we'll do the same over here. First we will extract the year out of this date. Okay, we are extracting the year, and before that we'll create our date by our end. So this will the year, and let me, now we have to give the month, which is 12 for the year end, and 31st. If I do this, now I'll get the correct calendar table. Started for January 12, January 1st 2012. So what if there's some we have that sales data starting from February, but we still need the, you know, this these dates as well for the starting year. And if I show you, I'll get it till 31st December 2016. So this thing we should done. Why we have done in this approach is just because we are having the data over here, which is from order date, right? We are getting two date column, order date and one is ship date, right? There is one another approach, which is the very simple approach, but you should know both the ways. Why we have did this? Because there are some chances when you have the, you know, date of birth column in your report, right? And you don't want your calendar auto function to create your calendar table based upon that, right? In this particular scenario, we don't have date of birth column, so we can also make use of another, let me create another date table. Calendar new, something like that. I'll give a new name because I cannot create two tables with the same name, right? I'll not have to do anything. I simply have to write calendar auto. See the magic. We are getting the same thing, 1/1/2012 till 31st 12/2016. So how calendar auto function work is basically it will go to your data set, whatever tables you have, right? It will search for the minimum date available in your data set, right? And it will start your calendar from the 1st of January of that particular year, and it will search for the maximum date in your data set, whatever date columns you have. It will search for that maximum date and give you the dates till the year end for that particular year, right? So why we should go for a, over here it is fine, is just because we don't have the date of birth information over here in any of the table. So let's suppose we have the date of birth information, so it might happen that we have the data from 2012, or maybe let's suppose consider it a new scenario where we have the data starting from 2021 till 2022, right? But there is one column called date of birth column in which we have information related to the date of birth of employees, right? And we are not interested in doing any kind of analysis on the date of birth. Then in that case, if we use calendar auto, it will search, because it will find a date from let's suppose 1980, okay, or 1994, based upon whatever date we are having in the date of birth column, and it will create your date calendar out of that. So that we don't want, because we don't want our date table to be that much extended, because we are not doing any analysis on date of birth part, right? So that is the reason, right? This is the way of doing the same thing. So what we are doing over here, we are going to this particular table, orders table. Okay, we are searching the order date column. We are searching what is the minimum date out of this, and then we are extracting the year out of that. What's the year in this particular date? And then we are from the date function we are creating basically a date. And what calendar function will do, keeping it start date and keeping it end date, it will give you the frequent number of frequent dates basically, without any caps. So why there is a need to create a calendar table is because in order to perform your several time intelligence function, you need a frequent calendar with you, so that you can perform time intelligence function basically. Because if you try to do the time intelligence function with these like order date or maybe on the your ship date, then it might be possible that you do not have the data on each day, right? And that function will not work properly, because that function, in order to work properly, that would need a frequent date without any gaps. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And let me create other columns as well, just for so how you can, so now we created a calculated table over here. There are several other ways we can also create the calendar table in just one step, in just one code, with the help of add columns, right? But as a beginner, right, you will get to learn it once once you are well versed with DAX, because I can also create add columns over here. But let's go step by step. You created one a date column over here. Now if you want to extract year information, right, first of all you have to give a column name, right? So you cannot give year as a column name, you because year is already a function over here, right? What year function will do, it will ask you to give it a date column. So this is the date column which you just created. You just simply need to write date, go below, because you have to search for the calendar date. This is the calendar table on which we are creating the uh, one column, and we have to refer the calendar date column, right? Simply close this out. What it will do, it will give me the year out of this. If you can see, if I select 2013 from here, right, what it will, you can see we are getting the 2013 dates only. Okay, so let's suppose I want to fetch my month out of it, out of my date, right? What I can do, I can simply click on month number. What is my month number? I'll simply write month. I In the same way I have to give calendar date. Right, it extracted me the month information. Okay, what if I want to have the month name instead of the numbers, numeric? This is the first month, this is the second month, right? What if I want to have the month name? How can I do it? I simply need to click on new column again. I'll write it as the column name as month name, right? I'll simply write format. I have to give the date column. Okay, calendar date. What is my calendar date? I just simply need to give the format. If I want the name, I simply name. If I want the short name, right, let me show you what we will get over here. Jan, Feb, right, we will get it in this particular way. Okay, 3 letter. However, if I want the complete name of the month, I just simply need to put one more M. See, we are getting January everywhere, right? The complete thing. Okay. So this is a like a kind of homework for you guys. to search over YouTube or whatever, wherever you want, how to create a date table using basically DAX approach, right? What are the different date columns do we need in our calendar table, right? You should know how to create each of these, because there are a ton number of columns. If I used to tell you about each and everything, right, like we have to give much more time to this, right? It's better
Okay.
you should search about it at yourself and try it at your end, right? So that you'll get to know like what all each function. In this way you will also learn DAX, right? So this is, so simply when you created a date table, right, what you have to do, this is your calendar table, right? You have to basically connect this table. So here is like, let me show you one thing. So this is my, let me remove person, as person is already connected, so that is the reason person is able to filter my sales data, right? Because that is connected via a relationship. This is my order table. If you can see the direction of the filters, the arrows, just see the arrows. It is, the filter is flowing in both the direction. It's a one-to-one relationship. It means that in this particular column as well, we are having unique values, and over here as well, we are having unique values. Okay, and how it is correct connected basically. So I can select person from here. It will filter this particular table, right? And it also filter this table as well. So this is how the filter flow. You can see the arrow. If I select anything from this table, it will filter my this table, because you can see the arrow, the filters are flowing in direction. And if I want to filter my number of orders from here, like how many orders I returned, I can also filter this, because the filter is flowing in this direction. You can see one to many, the direction is to this table, and the direction is to this table, one to many, right? So that is the reason you are able to filter the sales column. There is one sales column, I believe, right, on the basis of person, because the filter is flowing in this direction. If I, let's suppose, make a change, let's make a change. I don't want it to be flown in one direction. Okay, because for that I need to have created one to many to one. Let me do it in this way. Let's see, where is the filter direction? Okay, now if I try to do that, okay, just see it. If I pull person now, will it be able to filter my data? No. You can see everywhere I'm seeing 1264251, right? In the total as well, over here as well. That is because my person is not able to filter my sales data. Okay, sales table, basically sales column from orders table, because the filter of direction is from this, from region to this region. I am able to filter my person information from region table, right? But there is a no way my filters are flowing to this table, right? There's no way. Got my point?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me do it again. What it was, I think it should be both. Okay, let me show you. Let's suppose this is my sales information. Let me remove person from here, and if I have my order ID over here, right, you can see it will Power BI automatically create the hierarchy as well, right? Year, quarter, month, day. If I don't want that hierarchy to be auto created, there's some steps which we have to do in the options. I'll tell you later, right? So if I just for now, like I'm just clicking on here, order date. Now it will not create any hierarchy. Now you can see my sales data is filtered from this particular date, right? I can see it is filtering the date. How? Because both the things are in the same table, right? So that is the reason it is filtering it. Let me do one thing. Let me try to filter this on the basis of this particular date. First of all, if we create any calendar table, mark it as date table. Let me show you why. Just a second. If I do this, you can see it created the hierarchy again, right? So if I do this thing, if I mark it as date table, it will not create hierarchy. And this is the first thing you would do once you create a date calendar table, right? Create it, basically mark it as date table. Okay, now if I do this, you can see it is not filtering the data. Why so? Is because you can see 1264251 in all the records, because there is no relationship between your calendar table and your orders table, right? This is your calendar table, there is no relationship. Okay, so how we can create relationship? Either we can drag it from here, right? Let me do it again. We can do it like this, or we can go over here. We can simply click on new, because we are creating a new relationship. We can select our calendar table from here, we can select our orders table from here, and we can select date column from here and date column from here, right? So you can see why it is one to many is because in our calendar table we are having a single row for each date, right? So that is the one side of calendar. Okay, because for date column we are having single row. It's a kind of primary key for this table, for calendar table, right? Each row is having a different date, right? And over here I'm having multiple dates. Like this is not unique, because it might be possible that we are having multiple order IDs for a single day. That is the reason it is the many side and it is the one side. And cross filter, so most of the times it is generally advised we should have a cross filter direction as single way, until and unless we need it and it is not creating ambiguity. We can create a both cross filter direction, else go for a single filter direction. Sorry. So you have to create a cross filter direction as single, and you need to see how the filter flows. Basically, it in a single cross filter direction, it will flow from one side to many side, right? One to many, single. Let me, and if you want to make this relationship active or inactive, there's an option to check this, right? And this is apply security filter in both direction. If you are creating row level security in your report and you want to apply security filter in both the direction, then you have to check this out. If I click on no, okay, now it will do. Click on close. You can see that your calendar table is connected with your order tables with one to many, and the filter cross filter direction is towards it. Is means that if you take any filter, like if you put, like let's suppose you are on a matrix or table, right? You have one column, you drag column from this table, calendar table, and you drag something, some KPI from this table. So what it means that the filter is flowing, anything from this particular table will be able to filter the data for this table, right? And now if you see over here, you can see you are able to do that, the filtration, right? This date table is able to filter your sales table. Let me do one thing. Let me copy this, paste this. Okay, I'll remove date from here, my calendar table. I'll have it from my orders table. If you can see, it is giving me the same result, right? There is no change in the result. Getting my point? Then in that case, what it is advised, we should hide this column, because we don't want our users to include this column in their reporting, because whatever result can be seen from here, that is also visible over here. We are getting the same result. This is how the modeling work over here. The relationship, if you are creating correct relationship in between your tables, you know how what is the data, right? What each field in the data is exposing, and how to filter your data. If you know that, if you do the modeling correctly, right, you have done 80% of your work in your reporting. 20% is on you, how you basically what is the complexity of the dashboard, and how you basically what all charts do you use to show that information. The rest is all thing. 80% of your work regarding Power BI report is already done if you are at this step and you've done it correctly. Okay, so if you can see, if I hide that thing over here, now I am not able to see the order ID, sorry, order date over here. There is no order date because I basically hide that. So if I want to see what's if there is any hidden thing, so I can simply select view hidden. I can see that order date now. Why there is a need to hide order date? Because we don't are business users or the stakeholder to basically use this particular column for their analysis, because we are doing all sorts of time intelligence calculation on the basis of this column which we created in calendar table, right? And moreover, like let's suppose there is one date column over here, there is one date column over another table, right? Or some other table, if you have that kind of data, and we cannot on a single page, if you want to filter our let's suppose there is one date column in this matrix. Let's suppose a situation there is, right? If I pull date from this particular table, right, on the page as a slicer, or maybe the year if we are getting over here as a slicer, it will only filter to which it is currently corresponds to. It will not filter the other table, right? Because there is no relation. However, if we created a calendar table, we connected one to many with this table and one to many relationship with this table, right? It will be able to, the same column will be able to filter both the data in both the table, right? That is the reason do not use these order date from here. Instead use what you have created, the date column from the table which you just created. That is the reason, the first and foremost thing, if there are dates involved in any of your table, create a calendar table out of it. Okay, and this is about the calendar table, if you can see. And let's suppose you don't have the year information over here, right? You don't have it. So what if I ask you, let me delete this, click on remove, right? This is what I'm seeing on daily level, right? As I created calendar table, I can remove date, I can simply pull year number, right? You can see I'm able to see the sales, year wise sales, right? 2012 I'm having this much of sales, 2013 I'm having this much of sales, 2014, 2015. And over here, like for business user purpose, you can remove, you can just make it year, right? It is not changing at the backend level, right? Over here it is year num itself, but over here it is year, right? You change it on the visual level. Okay, and the first and foremost thing, most of the time you should show these kind of analysis. If you are showing it year wise or maybe month wise, go for line chart. So in this way you can see if your sales are increasing or not. Because let's suppose there is a dip, in 2012 we are having 22, over here we are having 26. Let's suppose over here we have 21 or maybe 18, right? And you can see a dip and you can simply analyze from the trend line chart, we haven't, performed so well in 2014 year, right? However, over here, it would take some time you to analyze, right? If there is a dip or not, right? It will take some time to process that into your mind. However, if you're showing that information in the area chart or maybe on the line chart, that is quite useful. And simply you can know that you are knowing, you can see over here that it is increasing gradually, right? On year by year basis. The thing is that, yeah, as it is, you are now seeing the sales, right? Let me see other thing. Let me see how my any other thing over here. City category, profit is in negative. Might be we don't have the correct data, I believe, because that shouldn't be negative. Okay, that's not in negative. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me remove sales now. If you can see, my profits are also increasing, right? So I have made use of the same table because the filter is flowing. This is my filter, right? X-axis is my filter and this is my KPI. It is filtering any, if I took anything from over here from orders table in terms of KPI like profit, quantity, it will filter that and it will show me based upon like whatever year I'm in, right? It will show the result based upon that, right? So these are different charts. If I want to show this particular information on a card, because on a card what we have, there is no filter context, right? Nothing is filtering. I can simply show whatever my profit over here. Let me do it. You can see this is my overall profit, right? I can make use of this chart. And what if I want to see, just as this is quite highly interactive, let me do this. Let me select this. You can see this particular point is I'm having 248940. If you see over here in the card, I'm seeing the same number, so that is the reason these charts are, Power BI reports are quite highly interactive. Whatever, selection you made, everything on the page will be filtered based upon that. That is called cross filtration between your visualization, right? If I just want to see for a particular year, I just simply need to select this. This will also filter based upon my selection over here. What if I don't want this to be filtered? This particular thing I don't want this to be filtered. What I can do, there are several ways. Either I can manage this through DAX, or what I can do, I can simply click on format. I can click on edit interaction, right? It got stuck. Okay, still in stuck mode. Okay, now I can see if I select this, right, this is in filter mode, right? The by default is filter. If I select this, if I select any point over here, it will filter the data in this particular card. See, this is the filter. I selected this. By default, it is set on filters for card. If I don't want this to be filtered, I simply need to click over here. If I made any changes, this card will not be affected by this. Okay, if I select this, so you can see that currently my chart, this particular chart is selected. What it means that whatever point I'm selecting over here in this particular chart, what's the, interaction between other charts on the page. If you can see, for a bar chart, it is by default highlight, right? Let me select other things over here as well. Let me select, let's suppose country and sales over here. Sales. Fine. If you can see, it is highlighted, right? This is highlighted. You can see the complete bar, the complete sales. However, for 2014, it is having this much of sale. If I want this to be filter my visual, I need to click this. Now it will show the data only which is for sales, right? If I click over here, it will show me it will amongst total the complete data, what's my share for 2014. It will highlight that, right? If I do this, it will filter that. Now this is the complete data for 2014, right? Over here I basically do it. I don't want this chart, this particular visualization to be affected based upon my selection in this particular line chart. Nothing is. If I do this, it is filtered. Let me try if I can filter this. Let me again click over here. If you can see, there is no filter interaction available in between these, right? I can select this and can manage the filtration if I want this card to be filtered or not, right? If I don't want this to be filtered, I can simply select this. See, this is filtering because I have selected filter over here. This is not filtering based upon this. But what if I select this? It will filter. See, but for card, this functionality is not available because there is no filter context coming over here, right? We are just showing the profit information, nothing. There is no filter context. Got my point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is one thing regarding edit interactions. And what's there in other things? Okay, fine. So this is all about interactions and all. And what's the thing? So if you guys have any doubts regarding our today's session related to relationships or anything, or calendar table, anyone is having any doubt?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Okay. So if you create any particular new report, right? You get some pop-up over here, right? So it's kind of your homework for you all. Just try to create anything useful out of the sample data set which you will get over here. Okay, so let me open new report. Let me do that, just a second. If you click on just simply close it out. Over here Microsoft team has already provided a sample data set. If you click over here, you will get the data set which I was working on, right? So you need to create useful visualization. But I want to see, like, based upon our discussion till now, what you can create, right? In that way, like, you will have some knowledge about these visualization. Then in a next session, what we'll do, I'll let you know about the use of each visualization. But before that, I want you to try, whatever data you have, what kind of visualization, if you select this chart, what kind of visualization you can create out of that, what information that does it show. If you select any information over this particular chart, what all things you get. Okay, will that be fine?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. And okay, let me cover today the home tab from here today, and then we can wrap up the session for today. Okay, and let's cover the file first. So over here, if you select new, right, it will create a new report, right? Just like I did right now, I created new. it opened a new Power BI desktop instance for me, right? If you click on open report, right, you can see, or you can see from here as well, these are previously opened reports. Just this functionality also got in other you know in Windows as well. Like if you opened any Excel report earlier, right, you have the option to open it again, right? So there are different report which you worked on earlier. In save, if you select save, this will open a pop-up window for the save option, where you can save your report, whatever work you have done, right? And save as, if you want to save the, because let's suppose you already saved this document in the same place and you want to uh, save this document in another place, you can simply make use of save as function. Get data is simply like, if you click get data, it will open a pop-up, right, which will ask you to you can see that these are different most common basically data sources through which you can connect your data, right? So you can connect, you simply click over here, a window will pop up, you have to fill the information and all, right? The source, where the location of the Excel file or whatever, if you are working on SQL database, right, you have to give the server name, database name and all. Import is like, if you click on import, you can import it as a Power BI template, which I was telling you yesterday. Let's suppose I created a parameter, right? In our previous section, I discussed this thing with you. So if you have a .pbix extension, if you want to save that, if you have created anything over here, right, you have passed parameter as well, right, and you are creating this file as .pbix format, okay, then it will not allow, when the user open it, or when you are opening the report, it will not prompt you to select the parameter. Yes, but let's suppose you have created parameters over here and you are importing this file as a Power BI template. What it means, so each time you will open this particular report, it will prompt you to select the parameter. Whatever parameter you will select over there, right, it will run instantly, get to the go to the source, take that particular data for you, and and use it as a Power BI data set. It will load that particular data as a data set only, right? But you have to do it at the first step, then it will then the report will be opened. If you want to import Power BI visual from a file, you can do it from here, right? And Power BI visual from app source, you can also do it from here, okay? And if you want to export data, export this as a Power BI template, you can do it. So there, what's the difference between these two? This is importing a template. You can open a template. If you have any template, you can open it. What is export? You can create this report as a template, right? Then once you create this report as a template, once you again open this, once you open the template, this particular report, it will prompt you. However, over here you have the template already created, you can open this and then it will prompt you, okay? And if you want to let's suppose you created 10 pages in this particular Power BI report and you are exporting it as a PDF, whatever content is on the page, you are exporting that as a PDF, you can do it from here, okay? And publish, once you create anything over here, this button will be published. Like currently this is grayed out, you can also publish it from here. Both are grayed out because you haven't added any page, you haven't added any data source to it, right? So that is the reason. If you've done nothing, then you can't be able to publish that. Option in setting, this is a very basically like from here you can turn on different things. You can manage your Power BI desktop basically. Let it open. Over here there are several options. If you see, there are two sections. One is global, one is Currentify, right? If you do something over here, if you make any changes to the settings under this, so that would be applicable in this current file whichever on which you have selected the option, or else if you are doing any changes in the global section, it will be applicable to all your reports. Okay, so there are several options like data load, type detection. You can see always detect column types and headers for unstructured sources. So if you select this, right, it will detect column types and headers for unstructured sources. Like, okay, if you want just to detect these things, column types and headers for unstructured sources according to each file setting, you can select different options. Never detect, if you don't want your Power BI to select auto detect your column types and headers, right, you can select this option, the never option from here, right? And then in that case, let's suppose, because sometimes what Power BI do, most of the times it will detect it correctly, but sometimes it will not detect it correctly. So you need to make sure that Power BI has already detected it correctly. So you should select this option, but meanwhile you will also check by seeing the column that what is the data type of it. If there is a mismatch, you don't want that, but because some of the time what it will do, it will change, it will not consider your date column, right? It will not detect the data type of the date column as date, it will detect it as text. So you need to take care of that thing, that it shouldn't be, it should be converted to date column, right? And then background data, allow always allow data previews to download in the background. If you can see that once you load the data, right, you can preview the data as well, right, before loading it. Never allow data preview to download in the background. So these are some of the things which you can, loading tables simultaneously. This is something like if you refresh your reports, right, everything would be done parallelly. If you can see, like if you, let's suppose there are 5 tables in your report, and you triggered the refresh, right? From here there's a button for refresh, this one. Okay, you triggered it from here. If you want your tables to be load or to be refreshed parallelly, then you can select that. Else if you want your tables to be refreshed one by one, then you can also make that. Okay, this is the thing which you need to, this is time intelligence auto date time for new files. So this thing you always uncheck. By default this is checked. That is the reason if you drag any particular date column from your report, that could be you saw, right, there are 2 date columns, order date and your ship date in your order table, right, in your orders table. So what it will do, if there is any date column, it will create automatic hierarchies for you, and you don't want that basically, right? Because it would also impact performance. So it is advised to first go over here in the data load and uncheck this. We don't want it because it will create date time hierarchy for each of the date column available in your Power BI report. So we should uncheck this. This is also the most important thing you should consider first. Uncheck this first. Okay, and if you uncheck this first, if you uncheck this, and then in that case, once you drag that column, that order date column from your orders table, it will not create a hierarchy. Each time you'll not have to right click there and just select the don't show the hierarchy, just show me the order date only. You will not have to do those steps as well. If you want to clear cache, sometimes your visuals are not responding in uh, it is taking much longer time than usual, then you can simply click on clear cache, right? It will clear the cache of your Power BI report. Q&A cache options, these are like, I haven't used it, so this is like if you are training your Q&A feature as well in your Power BI report, right? This is basically a AI visual, right? And it's not able to basically return results correctly or on time, right? You can simply clear the cache from here as well, right? And let's move to the Power Query editor. that is something, okay, related to the Power Query editor window. If you want to display the query settings pane, you can select it from here, right? I just check the display the formula bar. If I uncheck this, I'll not be able to see that formula bar over there where I use, where if I am creating any custom function, right, I cannot see that. Enable web table reference. So there are several options which you need to which you can make, like check and uncheck, and it will have different, like if I see this display preview contents using a monospaced font, so you can also select this, show white space and new line character, right? These are all things you can do over here. For direct query, if you want to, there is a new option. It's a new option, earlier it was not there. Treat SAP HANA as a relational source, so you can, like based upon your requirement, you can do everything over here. Like this is, there is a separate thing for R script option, Python scripting, security, right? So there's one thing, just a second, was some important thing I think over here. Only allow Microsoft certified and other. Yeah, over here, like you should always be doing data extension as recommended. Only allow Microsoft certified and other trusted third-party extension to load. If you don't allow this, right, uh, anyone can load the data set if he does not have enough permissions. That would be like it is something like, let's suppose you have shared your Power BI report with some external users, right? If they can also do that, and you don't want external user to create Power BI reports out of the underlying data set, you can select this option. If you want it, you can select this option. And this is ArcGIS map for Power BI, right? I have selected that. If I want to use ArcGIS map for my Power BI, I can select it from here. Use map and field map visual. If I select this, I'll be able to use map and field map visuals in my report. These are map and field map visual. So basically I have to select different things, different options from here for the use my default. That is something privacy. If always combine data according to a privacy level setting for each source. Combine data according to each file privacy level setting. Always ignore privacy level setting. There are several things over here, and there are some things available just for current file. If you make any changes over here, that would be applicable only for the current file which you have opened, right? Regional setting, this is currently on English India. We can also make it US as well. So that is the reason we are not let me show you one thing about regional setting. This is currently English India. This is for the privacy, auto recovery, disable auto recovery. You can see that whenever let's suppose you opened any file, you are making any changes, your Power BI file got stuck and you have to kill it by task manager. So if you do this, right, once you open the file again, it will prompt you to recover the file which was opened earlier, right? You can also recover that file if you don't want that thing to be happened on each time, because it would be a pop-up and it will again and again pop up on your screen until and unless you close it. So if you want to disable that, you can disable it from here, right? Over here in the report settings, don't allow end users to save filters on the file in the Power BI service. So this is something, this thing you can also manage from here and from the Power BI service as well, if you don't want your end user to save filters on this file in the Power BI service. So basically, let's suppose you have done some filters over here, you pass some filters over here in the filter section, right? And you don't want your end user who is viewing the report in Power BI service to make changes to the filter. You can simply select it from here and they'll not be able to change the filter out of in the Power BI service. Hide the visual header in reading row. If you want, you can do this. What is the visual header will I'll let you know in our later sessions. Use the modern visual header with updated styling option. You can select this. Change default visual interaction from cross highlighting to cross filtering. If you can see, if you want that to be for all your visual to be default visual interaction from cross highlighting to cross filtering, you can simply check it from here and it is applicable with all the visuals, whatever there is on the page, right? It will, by default, it will be cross filtering rather than cross highlighting, because you saw that for some of the visuals it was cross highlighting, right? So if you want to do it at bulk for all the visualization, you can simply check this from here and it will, you know. And by the way, you can also make this change in the Power BI service as well, but for the Power BI desktop, if you want to make that change, you can simply select from here. And export data, these are some of the things, like if you want end user to export the data with current layout and summarize data from the Power BI service, you can select this option. There are 3 options. If you don't want your end user to export any data, you can also manage that right from here. If I select this, if they click on the 3 dots, they're not able to, you know, export the data in Power BI service. Cross report drill through as well, like there are several options over here, so you can simply select, and based upon your requirement you have to select this. Okay, is it everything clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think
Yes.
we can wrap up for the, yeah, yeah, ask.
I have to know more about relationships. I mean, many to one, one to many. How it helps us, Deepa.
I'll let you know about those things in our next session. So this
Okay.
is just let me show you. So what is many to many is that, let me if we have some time. Okay, so if you can see, I don't have that kind of data right now, right? That is the reason I was not able to, you know, tell you about that thing. But yes, what is many to many is like, let's suppose there are multiple, there is no unique column in that particular table, right? Returns, but as there is unique column, there is no unique column over here, but there is unique regions of information available over here. So that is the reason this is one. For many to many, you know, the main thing is that how the filter is flowing, that is based on the, you know, the direction of the filter. If the arrow seems to pointing towards this particular you know, table, it means that the filter can come from here and it will flow here. In a many to many is that if you are having many to many relationships, right? So what it means that in this particular table, the column with which you have created a relationship, right, that is that is having multiple entries, right? And over here as well, the multiple entries for the same column.
Uh,
Okay,
in this table, what is fact table and what is dimension tables in this, Deepa?
fact table is like where you have you know, the factual data. What is factual data is something like, let me show you. This is the fact data, factual data in the orders table. If you can see the profit, the quantity, the sales, right? That is why that is called factual data. And in the factual table, in your factual table, what is the thing? You would be having foreign keys. This is the one thing, right? Which is basically you use to connect with different dimension tables with the help of primary key over there. Okay, this is one thing about factual table. And in the factual table, that is basically the data which you want to filter. You want to filter the profit, you want to filter the quantity, right? And in the factual table, you will have for a, you know, based upon the granularity, so you can have multiple rows for a category, multiple rows for a country, multiple rows for a region, and multiple, you know, so basically that is the reason it is one to many. And most of the time, and like out of, you know, 100, 90 to 95 times or 100 times, you can also say, you know, a factual table is a many side table. Okay, that is why we should keep our factual table in between, right, and dimension table like this. Okay, and connect our all the dimension table, because most of the times all the dimension table would be on the one side, right? Because in the dimension table we'll have the unique column which will identify it as a unique set of row. right? It will filter my factual table, that filter my factual table, it filter my factual table, right? Calendar is also my dimension table now. Got my point? Actually, the voice got break.
Yes, David, I got it.
Okay. I think we can wrap up for the session today, right? So for you guys, like you can simply try the sample data set what we have right now, create something out of it, and let's see in our next session regarding the same. And in our next session, we'll give you some assignment work, right, which will have more complexity over there. But before that, I want you guys to try the sample data set which is there with the Power BI report, right? Once you create a new report, right, there's an option to select try sample data set, and I want you guys to create something useful out of it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, everyone.
So, sir, for today, practice we are plot